What the world needs now is love, sweet love. These words for me will always mark the beginning of the pandemic, a time where we all entered the encompassing darkness of the unknown. A moment where we all were stripped from our everyday life and suddenly plunged into a state of anxiety, fear, and confusion. What alumna Shelby Rasser reminded us is the hope that art can bring in times of uncertainty. It reminded us and the world how important art really is. I understand. We all have worked so hard at our crafts long before our journey began at Boston Conservatory, and it is easy to forget the meaning behind our efforts. For me, as I was looking at so many other schools, I knew that finding a school whose environment felt like I belonged was important to foster and grow my artistry. I've always felt in the middle. I grew up developing my musical ear around African American traditions like gospel, R&B, old school, jazz, hip hop, and more, but fell in love with classical music in high school. You can often find me studying College Taylor for class and jamming out to SZA at the same time. It was here, with the merger between Boston Conservatory and Berklee, as well as the long history of the conservatory educating minorities, that I felt at home. One of my most cherished memories at Berklee was the first performance I saw at the school. It was the fall of my freshman year, and it was the first show that I worked as an usher. After letting in the guests, I sat in the theater and watched the show. The show was Rodgers and Hammerstein's Carousel. As soon as the curtain opened, I was in awe. The level of artistry from the performers, stage design, quality of the work, and more came together to bring this powerful level of storytelling that gave me chills. Luckily, this wasn't the last time I had that feeling. It came back in the brief stillness after finishing a cue in the film scoring session, in the connection between singer and ensemble during a musical theater show, or in the movement of a dance performance. This connection that art creates, though fleeting, is worth the hard work and pursuit every time. I share with you the disappointment of celebrating our achievements behind a cold computer screen rather than with each other. It is easy to dive into the darkness of despair and crumble from the weight of the world, to feel it. But I will tell you this: the night is darkest just before dawn, and I assure you, the dawn is coming. When the pandemic began, I did not have to leave our beautiful campus. In fact, I already left it back in 2019. I was spending my 2020 spring semester studying in Berkeley's Valencia campus in Spain. The utter heartbreak I felt when we were told to go home, the sheer panic of an assumed closing of US borders, the anxiety of an invisible enemy, all within a 48-hour time frame, was so much. The following day, I said a tearful goodbye to my new friends, flew to Amsterdam and then London, and met up at a hostel with my best friend from high school, who was also uprooted from her study abroad program. In the morning, I caught the tube in the rush hour of London life with a broken suitcase and crushed hopes. I remember looking out the window and watching London go by, knowing that everything was about to change. Once I got home, I never felt more isolated from my Boston Conservatory community. I felt alone and saddened by my experience being taken from under me. I was exhausted from waking up in the wee hours in the morning to take my Valencia courses. But the glimmer of light and hope came back again. Like stars in the sky, here and there, I got messages from the most unexpected people. Friends, classmates, teachers, asking me how I was doing. Suddenly, things began to feel a little better. They reminded me of something so important. What do you do when you are in the darkest nights of the world? You become the light. You cannot heal the world with your gifts unless you can heal yourself from within. And once you do, the dawn starts to break. You see the light at the end of the tunnel because it was within you all along. It is not the presence of the dark that is the challenge, but rather our ability to push through it to see the light. So do not fret, class of 2021. We will not let the events of 2020 hold us back from the greatness we are capable of. We will not allow social distancing to fuel the illusions of division based on economic status, borders, our mother tongue, our gender identity, who we love, or the color of our skin. We will instead look upon each other as brothers and sisters of one earth and use our gifts to uplift one another. We are the class of 2021. One step forward, one step at a time.